Let's go, drinks on Dusty, let's start the show. Drinks on Dusty, coming in hot, coming in to blow up the spot. The guests be picking, what we be drinking, we don't know what Dusty is thinking. We are here to have a good time, see where the convo may just climb. Sit back, put your drinks up, go on y'all, fill up your cup. Drinks on Dusty, let's go. Come on y'all, start the show. Oh no. Woo!
Alright, so we should be good. We should be going.
Let's fucking go!
So, I'll do everybody. Welcome to the Drinks on Dusty podcast. And this is a special episode because it's the second. He was supposed to be. So he was supposed to be the most special.
And
he was supposed to be the first person to ever do my in-studio recording during this horrible COVID times.
Megan, Julia, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, fuck them.
No.
Fuck them. But so my guest here, my second guest in person that's in the studio, my bedroom, it's here, is my good friend. We went to college together. He is an incredibly established actor. He studied at the Manny Flanagan Studio. I don't know if I said that
Maggie
right.
Flanagan Studio. Yeah.
I said, say I said it right. I said it right.
Yeah. I thought you said Manny. I'm like, it's a woman.
Definitely a woman.
Manny.
You know Manny? But so it is my good. We went to college. We've drank a shit ton together.
Yeah.
He is. I don't think I've said this, but he is one of the most talented actors I have seen, and probably if not the most. If I had to put the most, him and Isaac Anderson. I was a very big. You two are up there, but it's my good friend
really
Kirk Koczanowski, the American version.
Dude, thank you. I'm very excited to be here, and thank you so much.
I'm
for the
excited to be
compliment.
here
I really
too, man.
That.
We were supposed to be doing this a while ago when my COVID basically started. We were gonna.
Was that when you initially? When did you start the podcast?
I didn't do my first recording until I was back in Nebraska.
Is it? It's a. Would you consider it a pandemic passion project?
A pandemic passion?
Podcast passion project?
It definitely fueled me into doing it.
Yeah.
Because I think I'd always, for the past, because like you, I listen to podcasts all the time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is fun. But I think the pandemic, after going through 2.5 months of just drinking a shit ton, and then it was like, I'd always floated the idea around. I was like, I remember sitting at the bar with an old guy. Like my bar I'm a regular at. Yeah. And they were like, I had said like, well, I kind of want to do this thing called Drinks on Dusty, where like I just drink and talk to people, and I drink their favorite drink, and it's dumb. I have Drinks on Dusty with Dust every week. You're not that interested. I'm like, Jesus.
The most freaking Upper West Side bartender thing to say.
Yeah, you're the. I'm like, okay, well, I think
Fuck you, that's not funny.
Nah, dude, I got fucking stories, man. But yeah, it's definitely enhanced it because I did my first one with Liv and M when I was back in Nebraska, and that was the first time I did the recording, and I was like, this is what I've wanted to do. It's like fun, so it's been my creative outlet and everything.
Of course.
It's been
well, you know
awesome.
what I think has happened during this crazy time, and we don't have to go too much in depth with it, but like. During this crazy time, I feel like there's like a cycle that is either beginning or there's a new like awakening. People were fucking anxious. I know I was anxious that first month or two. And then it's like, oh my God, I'm getting unemployment or this crazy amount of money. I'm drinking and eating like a king,
Jesus Christ,
but then it's like, oh, this is not, I'm working out, getting better. And I'm binging shows, but now it's getting to the point where it's like, oh, do you start back to getting anxiety ridden and start drinking and eating like a shit ton? Or do you really like get like just like embrace your creativity or something? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like...
No, I get you. Because I feel like it's either go back into the routine that you had before this. Yeah. Which I was talking to a friend the other day. Yeah. And it was like... This is to try to classify this was the fact that like this was not a good thing that happened in the generality of the world. Again, this is a pandemic. I hope we've lost lives, we've lost businesses, we've lost so many things. to look on the brighter side of it, and which sounds
you know what I think. I think the biggest bright side about this that I think has kind of shown itself not only to me, but I think personally to a lot of people, is that it's not forced people to do this, but it's given people the nudge to be comfortable with themselves.
Yes.
And being alone or having to be isolated.
Yeah.
And what that does to you and how you deal with it, because it's either going to exacerbate things that you don't like, or it's going to, give you permission to do things that will surprise you. Yeah. And I think we've all been experiencing things that are a little bit of both,
No, I think, and I think it broke me from a routine that I was on, where I was working 6 days a week and drinking every day after work to get through, so I could be like, well, have fun for a couple hours so I can get through the next day. Yeah. And then, theater was a little rough at that time. It was like, I don't have a role right now. Like, it's been sporadic and it's rough, but I do think
it's been really rough.
Positivity is that, all right, it broke me from this routine, and then for the first 2 months it was fucking, hey, don't ever do that to my fucking
Don't ever let that sweaty glass.
Don't ever wet your sweaty.
Don't ever let that sweaty glass stick to that coaster, okay?
Yeah.
Or you're out of here.
You're fucking out. But yeah, it broke me from whatever, and then it was lots of anxiety and like, what the fuck am I gonna do for 2.5 months? And then it was like, oh, I'll just drink. There was one thing I wrote down. One night, I made a pyramid of beers in the apartment because I was alone. I drank over 20 beers that night.
Oh my God.
It was just like, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. Wow. And anyone that knows me, I've had nights where like I'll go hard. I'll go.
Yeah, same.
But like, it was just, you're drinking, I was just like, what the fuck am I even doing? Like, what am I gonna do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Wake up.
Well, you know what? What the experience was? It was like my norm. My norm is totally shattered. I've been so fortunate to be able to continue therapy during this time through phone sessions with my therapist. And one thing that I found that I kind of like discovered through like therapy during those first few months was like, oh my gosh, my identity and how I know and live my life has completely changed. It's not existent anymore. It involved being at location with people, collaborating with people in an audition room or in rehearsals or in a show, or since I'm like a fitness studio like manager, like it's all like people focused, being in the room with people, looking at people in the eyes, like having just like organic, meaningful, honest conversations and helping people out. That was non-existent, and I was like, it's gotten better. It's gotten better though.
Yeah,
because it just during the time you've just been able to remind yourself, this is not going to stop me from safely seeing the people that I consider my friends and family that I love and want in my life, no matter what's happening.
What are we drinking today, Kirk?
Oh boy!
I always get into combos, and I'm like, oh, the whole point of the podcast is to fucking open my stupid Zoom to be like,
yeah. If anybody's forgot, we are drinking. I'm like seeing myself, and I'm like, okay, like let's amp it up. We're drinking whiskey Cokes, Jack Daniel and Cokes.
So yeah, you said you want whiskey Cokes.
Yeah.
And I would like for you to brag a little bit about my setup here. I take care of my guests, okay?
Yo, guys, he has
take care of the guests.
Awesome, nice, sexy black desk. It's on wheels. I didn't know about it until I accidentally moved it. He's got some nice little memories, some little like awards.
Yeah.
And
these are memories to brag about. And I wanted to see.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. No, I'm kidding.
You're right.
No.
Live your life. These are my fake Tony Awards.
I love it.
About me being a kid's teacher or whatever. But this is the one I wanted to brag to you about and to give memories.
What is
you look at that? Look at that.
Lawrence and Holloman.
Yeah, so when I...
Yo!
So Eric
you
Little,
and Eric Little.
Eric Little gave me that.
Beautiful.
And I told him...
That show was so fucking funny.
That was so good. Sarcastic
So good.
fucking humor as it. But
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I take care of my in-person guests. So for anyone that wants to be a fucking guest and you want to come in person, you do get a VIP treatment.
Guys, he's got a fucking bowl of ice, so we don't have to like rush to the fridge to grab ice.
Keep drinking and going. Keep drinking and going.
Gallons of mixer. It's incredible. So much permission.
Yeah, Kirk said he didn't. You were like, I don't know. You're like, I like a little whiskey ginger. And I like, Coke, plain Coke's fine. I was like, I'll get all three of them. And I got cherry Coke. I was like, why not have cherry Coke? Why the hell
not? We love flavor here at the Drinks on Dusty podcast.
Is there a specific reason? Is there a specific reason?
Flavor Town.
Flavor Town. We want flavors.
What were you saying? It's the Flavor Town of liquor.
Is there a specific reason that you picked whiskey?
So
whiskey
yeah. The reason why I chose whiskey is because I think that we all have our vices.
Oh God, yeah.
For like,
fuck kidding me?
Like just chilling, relaxing at home, or just lounging, and mine is like whiskey on. Excuse me. There it is. The first burp of this episode. No, my vice is whiskey on ice, and then like a little bit of Coke, on the side. Just sipping a little bit of this. And then at some point, I get to a point where I'm like, okay, fuck this big pour and another small little pour of that. And I just get wasted.
I thought it was interesting. You said,
and I'm feeling myself.
You like to have the little, you'd ask me, you're like, I know this is a weird request. I'm like, dude, nothing's weird. I don't give a fuck. You'd ask me for a little glass to pour your chaser or mixer in. Chasers are for pansy asses. Mixer. But why do you do so? That's just how you've always drank it, or is that just how you like to drink it?
You know what it is? Is because I know how the combination works on me. Because you're getting some caffeine and sugar from the Coca-Cola,
yeah,
and then you're getting that loosey goosey attitude from the whiskey, and so you don't want too much of that loosey goosey. Before you get that nice, like, uppity peppity, pep in your step. And so I usually kind of start with a little bit of whiskey, and then and then at one point I'm like, fuck it. I put them both together. Does that make sense?
No, it does make
sense. It does
sense.
not make sense,
I'm mad
does it?
I didn't post our picture, but I'm posting it now.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
And I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, fuck, figure it out, dude. Come on,
will you? It's like you're drunk or something.
Are we drunk? Are you lightweight?
No, I'm
not. Hey, Kirk, you lightweight? Kirk, you lightweight.
No. You actually, you know what I did before I left? It was like an hour before I left. I was like, yeah, I'll go to the grocery store to get like a little something for the week. I grabbed myself a Red Baron, boy.
You did?
And I was like, I need to eat this whole pizza before I go over to Dusty's.
Wait, where did you find Red Baron? I haven't seen
Target, dude. You got a Target near you?
No, we don't have Target.
Dude, I got a Target like a 10-minute walk from me. It's fucking. And
that's
they got
actually awesome.
Bang ass prices, dude.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
So I actually had a conversation with my friend Jake Mormon. We were talking about
Jake
the best type of pizza in Nebraska. Like, what was your Red Baron was always it. Because it wasn't expensive, but it was the fucking best. And then either Supreme, those grocery store pizzas. What the fuck else are the other ones?
Yeah.
But Red Baron was like always the best.
Red Baron is the elite of
and I got it because it was cheap.
Yeah,
but it's better than everything else.
Like
the DiGiorno's.
Hey,
DiGiorno's. Fuck off.
Fuck off, DiGiorno. Literally, I was there. I was like, I need carbs and cheese before I go to Dustin's.
Yeah. Why are you Chiefs fans annoying as fuck?
Whoa!
Why are you guys so annoying now? Yeah, annoying.
We're annoying?
Now,
listen.
I'm basing this off
How
of a
are
couple
we
fans
annoying?
have been annoying me on Instagram since the
Really?
season started.
Who are they? I don't annoy people. Yo, listen, I know we can be annoying, and you know, I knew that this was going to come up, and there's a big thing that's happening on social media that it's like, oh, you're a bandwagon Chiefs fan?
Yeah,
I'm like,
I start saying
hey,
it out every.
Hey, guess what? I remember my first Chiefs game. I was fucking 5 years old. The Chiefs played the Saints. It was a rainy game, and it was just me and my dad. And the entire time I said, "What's happening? What's happening? Dad, what just happened? What is happening? Oh, they just got a touchdown. What? What is that?" And I learned. I am not, okay?
Okay.
I not like I'm trying to like defend myself, but it's like
No, I get
to
it.
hear like I think that is true for every sports team. There's freaking bandwagon.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll be any year. Like,
You
the
were a
Packers-
bandwagon fan. You gifted me with
no,
a shirt that you
no,
wore. Yeah.
no.
You know,
I was
you were rooting for the Chiefs during the Super Bowl.
I was respecting the team that was close to Nebraska, and the fact I was very happy.
Whatever word you want to call it.
No, you don't. You look at all these hats
I
over
know.
fucking here. You see
got-
what they say. They
You
say
got
Packer
all
hats.
generations of
All the
Packers hats right
But
there.
no, so I did that year when they won the Super Bowl. I would always been a Chiefs fan, or I was like I like the Chiefs.
I was always. This is what I heard. I've always been a Chiefs fan because they lose.
Okay, well, no, let me say this. Because I don't fucking care. I was like, oh, that's fine, whatever. Let me even recall that. I was not always a Chiefs fan. I was like, don't give a fuck about the Chiefs. Whatever they're doing, whatever. Because they did used to have a big rivalry with the Packers. Because for any of my non-football fans, which is probably all of you, the Packers and the Chiefs played the very first Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah, I
And the
was gonna
Packers
say
won.
the Packers did
won.
win.
Then they won the Super Bowl next year. But here's my thing. But it was like always a thing, but it hasn't been a rivalry.
rivalry.
Hey, you get a drinking podcast, you fucking
You get some slurring, baby.
You gotta. you listen to a drinking podcast, you get a little bit of slur. But it was never like a really big thing. But it was when I was younger. Now when I'm 27 now, it's like no one cared about the Chiefs, or it wasn't a rivalry.
Yeah.
But my issue, to get along with it, is after they won the Super Bowl, I was so happy that they won. I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, I had no problem with those teams. Didn't have a problem with it. My issue is issue one, Patrick Mahomes is a very talented quarterback. He's an incredibly talented player. He's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers be doing this shit for fucking 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
And now the NFL is a fucking what are you doing for me lately league. Aaron Rodgers has been fucking doing shit for a while. Patrick does his fucking sidearm thing and everyone freaks out. Great. He's fucking awesome. Didn't have a problem with him that either. I was like, okay, whatever. I got an issue when people started saying he's the most talented quarterback to ever play the game. He's an incredibly talented quarterback. He just won the Super Bowl. He's played 3 years. Let's calm the fuck down a bit. My biggest issue was this entire year, and I will fucking... It has to do with one fan that's pissed me off enough to make me hate the Chiefs.
Oh, man.
Iron Man's wife, Allie, she fucking...
Is she a Chiefs fan?
Yeah, she's fucking from Kansas. I don't fucking know. She's a bandwagon fan. Hey, bandwagon fan. But she started talking shit to me about nonsense that she doesn't know about. And I'm like, you're just wrong. And then I started getting mad. But then I did see other Chiefs fans, we're going to fucking win for the next 10 years. Blah. That shit makes me infuriated. You've been shitty for 10 years.
You know what it is? It's a bunch of people who are like, oh my God. Like, don't you fucking become the New Age Patriots. Did I say New Age Patriots? Patriots. Yo, everybody
But
fucking
you're
hated
totally right.
the Patriots.
Everyone's going to hate
because
them.
of
They're a very talented team. But let's calm down a bit. They're fucking good.
Listen, I love football.
I think the fans are kind of shitty.
I love football.
You love football?
I have loved the
Kirk loves football?
Chiefs football since I was fucking 5 years old. Since my family moved to Kansas and I grew up there. I've loved it. It's been the highlight of Sundays.
Yeah, so you were
And
you
then-
were a football fan for a while.
I've been absolutely.
Which is really I feel like I don't meet theater people that are football fans, like true, like I know what's happening in the league. Or
I won't
anything
say
like
that I'm hardcore, that I'm like following all the updates here.
Oh, cool!
and
You're
there.
a liar. That's fine.
Whoa! I'm a huge fan. Okay, huge.
Hey, look at me. I'm gonna win Pennsylvania. I'm gonna win.
No!
I'm gonna win South Dakota. And then I'm gonna buy new shoes. And when I get the new shoes, what was the question? No. But that's fucking I no, you're a huge fan. I'm actually jealous you went to Arrowhead. Arrowhead, I would have loved
Arrowhead, listen, it is something that I would wish for everyone, even my worst like NFL team like enemies, to be like, I want you to come to Arrowhead and experience your team
I know your life sucks.
be beaten by my Chiefs. You know? Because you'll be like, wow, this is incredible good for them. I'm not as loud as them. Oh, they broke Guinness records? Okay, well, this is fun, though. Get me another 20-ounce Bud Light
I had
for
almost
$20.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh, Jesus Christ, don't even start
right.
on price.
Don't
Fucking
miss some pre-COVID prices.
Hey, pre-game before you go fucking anywhere.
Oh, no,
ever.
here we go.
I pre-game before I fucking go meet anyone at a fucking bar. But yeah. Because none of my...
So basically, I knew we were gonna talk about this. It would be so incredible if the Packers and the Chiefs. You guys were. Wait, how far did you guys get last year? I can't remember.
We got to the NFC Championship. So if we would have, I was telling, like, Brooke, our friend Brooke, that went to the bar that you guys bought out for that game.
Bosworth.
Yeah, she's a fucking baller. But if the Pack, I would have shelled out a shit ton of money for a lot of things. Yeah. If that would have been happening, mostly because I'm like, I have a lot of friends that are Chiefs fans. We would have went all out.
Well, I threw a Super Bowl party.
Yeah, I fucked up. Here's why I fucked up.
Bought out a bar. Charged the cover.
I'm an asshole. I didn't go.
Yeah.
But I went to another bar.
Because you would have been blackmailed for wearing that shirt that you gifted me. Hey, here's a shirt that I wore, I guess, because I'm like good for the Chiefs. I haven't washed it, like my hats.
No, don't you fucking do that. I wash my hats, Kirk. You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
But let's fucking... Alright, what should we get into? So I have on my fucking computer... Hey, everyone, I'm a big deal here. And I've got this fucking set up. I got the fucking notes on my fucking laptop.
Fuck yeah, dude. And
I got the whiskey.
Specifically, I'm going against my nature that's like, oh, God. Oh, what's he gonna ask? I should prepare. I specifically.
What do you mean by that's your nature? What do you mean by
my nature is to prep before.
Yeah, I feel like you're always prepared for anything. I feel like
that is such an incredible compliment. I really
felt like that
it.
way out there. We're out there. Like again, I don't even have
in the living room.
Yeah, in the living room, like with our friend Eric. Like Eric and I went to college. Eric and I are roommates. We all went to college together. You guys lived together. I feel like you're just always ready for shit, and I feel like it's really what's the thing? I feel like I don't see your guard down ever. I feel like I'm like you when you let loose, it's the fucking coolest shit in the world. It's fucking awesome. Because my guard down, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I'll be like, hey, you want to talk about the dad issues I got last week and what's up? I don't have that from you. But do you feel like is it your performer side? I feel like because you're, and I don't mean this as like you can.
Let's get into it.
You were just telling stories out there and just telling things. You're such a good performer. Do you feel I feel like it's not a curse. A curse is the best way I can think of it right now. But I feel like do you feel like you need to perform all the time? Not in a fake way. I don't mean it like that. I mean like you're just so entertaining as it is in general. And I feel like maybe you have to always keep up to that level. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Well, oh no. You know, like that is something that I had a feeling we're probably going to even get into because it's something that's been on my mind for years, and it specifically started, I think, like 4 years ago, and 5 years ago, right after I moved to New York City, I few months in, I was like, you know what, I'm in my dream city. I'm not leaving here for decades, or I'm gonna end up here for the rest of my life. I'm gonna start.
You felt that way, like right away when you came here?
I feel like I've known that since I was like 15 years old.
It's just been always
It's always been like, you know, like ever since my family. I was born in Trenton, New Jersey. Grew was like in infancy. Was here for like in New Jersey for like 2.5 years. Then because of my dad's job, he worked for the U.S. government and was stationed out in the Air Mine Air Base in Frankfurt, Germany. So my family was out there for 2.5-3 years, and then we moved to the United States in '97. And so
I had no idea that when you had filled out the guest form, I was like, wait, you aren't from
dude,
Kansas
I
City,
actually went to I went to actual German kindergarten. It's no joke, it's some of my first memories ever.
That's insane.
And one of the things that
I
remember, one of the most vivid memories of things that I remember from that is falling in love with a German girl named Maria or something.
Hey Maria, if you're listening,
Maria, you German minx, you. Jawohl. Ja. And I remember being like both me and my twin brother Colby, who we were in separate classrooms, but like we got bullied and stuff, probably because we were American. I don't even fucking know. So then what happened after that? My family moved to Kansas, and stuff, and
and this was after kindergarten, so this is roughly like
I ended up starting kindergarten in Overland Park, Kansas, which is a suburb outside of Kansas City, Missouri. That's confusing. So is there Kansas City in Kansas? Yes, but Kansas City, the real Kansas City is in Missouri. Okay, just fuck off. Okay. Everything's up to date in Kansas City. I've gone about as far as I can go. Sorry. Oklahoma. Anyway, sorry. So, so basically, okay, I'm going to just fast track to your question. You asked, do I always feel like I have to perform? And I think even the way that I'm speaking a little bit, but my main thing that I was talking about was, about 4.5 or so years ago, it was in between my 2-year training at the Maggie Flanagan studio, which was a Meisner professional actor training program focused in the Flatiron District at the time.
Which was, I saw you do your final performance.
That's right.
It was actually
the movement performance
was the first time I had seen you since I moved to New York. Mm-hmm. And I had always considered but it was the first, you were just busy, and I never, you were one of my, when I moved here, I was like, oh, I'll see Kirk, I'll get drinks with Kirk, but Kirk was hell in doing this studio, and it was, that movement performance was fucking incredible.
It was. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it.
I remember tearing up during it. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
What are we doing in here? I didn't know I was going to come in through this random Flatiron District, eighth floor, building in freaking garage.
I sat right next to your mom, too.
That's right. Oh my God, that's so amazing.
She was, that... Continue, please. But it was fucking amazing.
So basically, from the years of 2015 to 2017, I was doing the first thing in my life that I consider that I was doing on my own.
Yeah.
And it was professional actor training. It was basically the equivalent of a master's degree in the Meisner technique. And during that time, halfway through, during the entire first year, the training at the Maggie Flanagan studio is focused on It's the Meisner technique, and so you're being challenged to conquer your emotional spectrum. The first year of Meisner training is, okay, so you want to be a character actor. You want to be a real actor? Okay. Well, the only way that you can even understand a character, you got to understand every single facet of your emotional spectrum. And so it was 9-10 months of like grueling, like it's by far the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life and the most rewarding. And during the entirety of that training, that you're like through different exercises and different tasks and different things, you're basically coming up against every single part of yourself that you like, hate, despise, that makes you uncomfortable, that like you are frustrated with. And during the whole entire first year, my mentor, Charlie Sandlin, who has an incredible podcast that I recommend, it's Creating Behavior, is the name of the podcast, available on all the platforms. He was like, you guys got to be in therapy. You guys got to be in therapy.
So they're the reason that got you into starting therapy?
Yeah. So it was, well, the reason that I got into therapy was like, okay, very quickly into that training, I was like, realizing this is the thing that I want to do. I went to it because I was like, I've always wanted to train in New York City. I have always wanted to. I was so
younger, like no matter what you were doing, you wanted to do this.
I was so drawn to New York City and the energy and the performing in New York City.
How long did you move here since you graduated college?
Well, I graduated in Nebraska Wesleyan class of 2014, and then it was 10 months.
And then you came here.
And then I came here.
And this is where you
always
wanted to go.
And then it was in September of that, like a few months later, I was like, I was researching a little bit, and then it just plopped into my lap that it was like, this place sounds legit. And
how was did you have to audition to get into the program?
So I didn't, actually. What it was specifically was an interview. And with my mentor, Charlie Sandlin, and he specifically, he's one of the smartest, most incredible human beings that I have the pleasure to call my mentor, but also now like a friend, and a colleague.
It's nice when you got friends, when you had your mentors become your friends. It's actually fucking awesome.
It's absolutely insane, actually.
Yeah.
He's a great judge, and he's an incredible studier of behavior and creating behavior, and he can tell by the way that somebody talks about what they want to do with their art and their craft, whether they're right for this program. And then the real test is in the 2 years that you're there. And so during that time, like in that first year, it was like, you guys should be in therapy. It wasn't like a, I'm going to check on you and make sure you're going to therapy. It was like it's a really important thing for you guys during this time to be able to have a place to go every week or so that you can, in a very healthy way, have a neutral party, just, hear you speak about yourself or what you're going through. And that summer, July of 2016, I started going to therapy. And during that time, I've learned so much about myself. And to answer your question about, like, do I feel like I have to perform all the time? I learned very quickly. I was like, oh my God, it's been like instilled in me. From
You feel like you have to do it.
It's almost like it became.
Hey Kirk, what's your name? Hey, I'm like you feel like you have to.
Well, you know, it's you know, I'm 9 or so months away from. Wait, how? Oh my God, wait, how many months? It's November.
I don't know math, bro. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm 8 months away from becoming 30. So like, you know, I'm nearing this stereotypical, oh, you're an adult age. But like in the past few years, I've been able to really understand how I work and the cogs in my brain or in the cogs in things that I can't control about myself. It's a thing that I think we all have a thing that it's like, this is something that I just do. That is an instinctual thing. And it's up to you as you grow up to be able to be like, oh, is this a healthy thing for me to do at this time or not? You know? And that's the thing where I've learned through like going to therapy to be like, I cannot perform
do that
all the time. But like when we were talking out there in the living room, I was so relaxed. Of course, I was like, I was excited.
You felt relaxed a year ago?
I absolutely, I did. But I think there's, you know, I have so many people. Like for instance, I have a really great friend from my studio that my incredible. I had an incredible roommate. I would consider him a brother to me. My buddy Ian. He moved in with me and went to the same acting studio 2 years ago, or a little over 2 years ago. He moved in with me, and like, without actually like knowing me or anything, and like we got along so well for the whole 2 years. And then
it's a lucky thing, because that's not a fucking
that
thing that happens
is
in
so
New York
rare
at all.
And there's I have this friend who like I'm very kind of like really like oh hey, what's up, baby, you know, like really goofy with.
Yeah.
But I can also get a little real with. And at one point, apparently, I was told, like, he told me that she asked him, so is it like just like crazy to live with Kirk? Is he just like off the walls all the time? And it's like, no, he's actually pretty reserved. He kind of just keeps to himself. And it's like, it's like a weird thing, you know?
Yeah,
like
for sure. I would.
You know, you think of like the most like zany frickin' people and stuff, and it's
Do you consider yourself as like zany? Would you think? Because I wouldn't call yourself that, but I do think you have a really fun personality.
I think what it comes down to is that after a certain amount of time, if you let yourself to be able to like, you'd be like, oh, where's that coming from? Or like, oh, how did I respond to this situation with these people or these types of people? Or I was in this randomly new situation. How did I respond to that? Oh, that's different. You know, to get to a point that that like I was like seeing that, I was able to be like, okay, like that doesn't define me. And I think that's something that and which is so interesting because like we've known each other since college.
Yeah.
And people that we know in college know me in a very specific way, you know? And everyone changes, you know?
We've known each other since college. Have you kept in touch with people from college since you graduated?
I think there's a handful of people, and I think it's so beautiful that during this time that we do have social media to still intermittently check with people. I don't think it is entirely like organic or like thing to continually like check in with people.
Okay.
Or like, you know, like I think we're all on our own freaking like journey.
Yeah.
And that if we end up, you know, I don't know. I don't want that to sound like
no.
dick. It's just like
totally
I think we all grow, and one beautiful thing about growing up is growing apart and then coming back together.
I gotcha.
And that, like, the fact that I saw Eric, like, it was so incredible because I have not seen him in 4 or 5 years.
See, that's wild to me.
And it felt like 8 years ago.
See, that's the interesting thing to me is like...
And that's what's beautiful, you know?
I keep in touch. Like, I have a group chat with, like, Adam, Jake, Winston, and Scott. Mm-hmm. And we text... Actually, I text them more than I text any girl I'm trying to hook up with. But, like, we text too much. But it's... I have those connections. And I have... But I've... the point I'm trying to get to, I guess, if there's a point, there's never a point with Drunk and Dusty, who knows, but it's, I've always kind of connected with college people, certain college people. Yeah. I've distanced myself from certain stuff, but the people that I felt like was a real bond, or I felt like, yeah, you're my people, I'll keep in contact no matter. But I feel like you kind of have branched off and have done stuff. And, like, I don't know you. I haven't talked to you, and I don't know you. That was something.
You know me.
I don't fucking know. I don't know the fuck you are.
Yeah.
But I feel like you've kind of branched off into so many different things. And I think that's really empowering. Like, you've been able to do things without that kind of support system. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Is I think, like, all right, I'll move to New York, and then I'll hang out and talk to all the New York people I know that did a show with me in college. But you went off... came to New York, did a studio, kind of, because that studio, kind of, I don't know if secluded is not the best word, but I feel like you were just in that fucking, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You were doing it. Do you feel weird? Like, I just feel like when I moved here, I didn't talk to you for a year.
No, yeah. And I think, I think one of the biggest things about that I've always kind of subconsciously knew about myself is that I know why I'm doing something and for what reason.
Yeah.
And the reason why I went to the college that we went to is because I knew that I was going to have potentially so many, and thankfully bless whoever is above, bless me with a lot of opportunities to, like, practice my craft and acting and stuff just by doing it,
Yeah, you seem just like such a natural actor.
I really
you seem like it's just... I'm not a natural actor. I'm not... That's not me. I know that's not me. I can play a role. I'm not saying I'm a shitty actor. But you're just this... Like, you'll do all the work. Like, you'll do all this stuff. And I've always fanned over that. And I will say... I did write that. I was like, make sure you say this. I don't look up to much people. And I remember when I got into theater, I've always kind of talked about how I was kind of a black sheep in theater.
I remember you talking about that, like, in college.
I was like, I'm just this dude that likes beer, and I'm just trying to make friends. And when it became like, all right, I'm trying to make this a career, I was in awe of you. And I don't look up to many people. I'll look up to you, Brett Favre. He's right there on my wall.
Hey, Brett.
But
you don't have his Jets memorabilia.
Don't you fucking come for me right now.
No, just kidding.
I actually should do that. I should buy like a Jets jersey, dude, just for the fuck of it.
But, once a Packer, always a Packer.
Once a Packer, always a Packer. But. But yeah, dude, I like looked up. I remember when I started to feel, because you were saying how you felt that initially since you were younger, like this was it. I fucking didn't know what I was doing. I never know what I'm doing half the time. When I was 13, my fucking little brother posted political views. When I was 13, I was trying to think of what girl I'm gonna kiss.
Yeah.
By the time I was 18, I barely knew I was going to college. I was like, when I was getting acting roles in high school, was like, all right, well, let's just cast this football player looking dude. I'm like, all right, fine. And then I was like, oh, I'm charismatic. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is the fact I'm like, you've always known what you're trying to do. And when I was be like, dude, how the fuck do you do what you're doing? I would be sitting in awe I'm going to make you uncomfortable right now. But hey, I'm fucked up.
That's okay.
But it's I would sit in awe is watching you and being like, how is he fucking? You're just incredibly talented, and you're just a fucking actor. You're the definition of when someone says, "I was born to do this." You're born to do this. This is it. Yeah, cry, motherfucker.
Thank
you. But it's
whiskey makes me cry.
Yeah, I don't know what the point was here, but it was
no. You know,
it's fucking wild. You knew you were gonna do it. You did it, and you're doing it.
I don't know why, but like when you were talking, it reminded me of the first time I ever even did anything that was close to acting, and I had
when was the first time?
I had to have been like 8 or 9, and it was at.
You were doing it that young.
It was so it was like 8 or 9, and my mom like signed me up for this. It was oh my god, what was it called? It was like a farmstead that had like it was like a little mini zoo, but it was like farm animals and stuff that you could come to. That was like a 5-minute drive from my house, and they had like a little like kid performance, and
you have been doing.
I remember, like it was like a 1-day thing, and you learned like a little basic script to the Big Bad Wolf, and I played the Big Bad Wolf, and it was me and like 3-4 other women who were like, or girls. I was a boy, and they were scared of me. Like I was like, interesting.
Scared of me.
But like I don't know why that like came into my mind right now.
Again,
like,
it was the first. That was the first time you started performing,
and then it was like, and then it was like
felt...
2 years later, my mom signed me up for a summer theater program that was Monday through Thursday, like 9 a.m. to like 2 p.m. and you got to go home every night and all that stuff, and had the weekends off and all that stuff. And it was called Camp Center Stage, and it was through like a recreation group in the county. And that's where like my love for like acting came from, and partly, most likely, part of like where what you were saying, like, do you feel like you need to like perform all the time? What that place gave me at a very young age, at the age of 10, was like, be goofy, be zany, be okay with being out there, because we all have to accept one another at the end of the day, because we're all in this together. And did
you feel like you had an acceptance of yourself younger than you maybe not should have? But like I feel like I didn't ever feel that. Like it's taken me a while to have, this is who I am.
Well, you know what it was? Like at a young age, it was like, it was at like 10, 11 years old, I found the thing that I loved to do, which was perform. And it wasn't until maybe 6 or 7 years later that I was like, oh, this isn't performing, this is acting. And then it was like, and then after that, it was like, ooh, I really like to, and then like college, it's like, oh, I really like to explore different characters or different walks of life that are not my own. And then it was moving to New York, it was like, oh no, the thing that was binding it all together was I am obsessed and I love to create and study human behavior. That's the thing that I think about all the time without thinking about it, and that I love to do all the time. And so at a young age, what happened was the progression of that was like, at a young age, it was like, oh, zany, be whatever you want to be. And then, you know, when it comes to like high school and all that stuff, it was like, oh wow, like like a decade ago, I would say I wasn't one of the popular kids in high school. I was known. He was I was the guy who was in the plays, in the musicals. I was known, and I was in the Spirit Week dances. I was a star in the Spirit Week dances and stuff, because I knew how to you know. But
did
like,
you feel like uncomfortable in high school? Did you feel that way at all?
You know, I did not feel uncomfortable in high school until about like sophomore or junior year, where I felt like, ooh, am I getting in my own way for making connections?
But you had like like you knew what you needed to do at a younger age than I did. That's something I can't comprehend in my head, because I'm drinking definitely way more whiskey than you are. You're being a little bitch.
What? Fuck you, dude. I'm fucking.
That's fine. I'm just saying. I feel like I've drank fucking 3.
Dude, you're just baiting me, dude. You're like,
yeah. I'm like, this one get.
You're like, get drunk.
Listening to you say everything about you were saying, I've never felt that way. I felt like this is what I need to do. I need to storytell. I need to be creative. I need to be this charismatic. I didn't find that till a later age. You're fucking telling me that when
which
you were
I think
younger.
is another beautiful thing, because sometimes people don't find what they want to do until they are way down the line, you know. Yeah. And sometimes that you still have a good life, or you have ups and downs, or sometimes it's really rough until that point. Mm-hmm. But like, and even you can find what you love to do at a young age, and you're still gonna fucking find so many hard times.
Yeah, you know, you're not gonna know
because of that thing that you love to do, and how it is going to be the most important thing to you, more than maybe even like a loved one. Sometimes it's a crazy thing.
We're both podcast hosts.
Hey. Yeah.
I can't even connect it. Hey.
But
I did have a question. So we're both podcast hosts, and I found, we talked earlier about me finding my podcast stuff. I did have a question. So you have your own podcast now. And my question, I think, is, have you felt like this is the new creative thing that is going to, in a performance aspect now, I feel like podcasts are booming. Podcasts are going whatever, and you can kind of be yourself. And people are being known for being themselves. And I kind of like this more than I like portraying a character. Which is interesting, because I'm like, I'm not an actor like you are. Or like some of my friends are. Like, I can get in depth with the character. What I'm trying, so I feel like my personality is my selling point. Who I am as a person is the selling point. And what I think the podcasts are doing is like, this is who I am. This is like, I'll be like, I'm this dude that can do this, this. And what the pandemic has kind of shown me, or like made me feel, is I'm like, I'm not the best actor. I'm not like I can act, but I'm not going to do a fucking role like Heath Ledger or anything. It's the first name that came to my head or whatever. Like, I'm not going to in-depth do a Joker role like him. And I feel like you can do that, but I feel like I'm like, this is my selling point. This is what I'm good at.
That's incredible, though.
And that's what I'm like, whatever. But anyway, the question I think I'm trying to get at is, like, do you feel like this is going to be the new thing, like creating your own content, and that's going to be the thing to propel you to maybe an acting role or whatever, or anything like that?
Yeah, well, the one thing that you were saying something before I jump into that question. You were saying something about acting, and I actually respectfully have to disagree. We don't play ourselves. What we do is we find a character, and we bring ourselves up to it. We find the parts of ourselves that we need to turn up in ourselves, and that takes hours, countless hours in rehearsals to be able to effectively do that. And it will never, and the beautiful thing about it is the pursuit to bringing ourselves to identify with somebody organically.
That's totally true, and I don't even remember saying what I said.
No,
But
it's
I'm
okay.
like, you're
No,
totally
no.
right, because I feel like, but I think I don't.
But that's something that takes years of work, and introspectively learning about yourself on how you approach certain things. And that's not to say ever that, I'm a bad actor. It if anything, it says, okay, I like this thing. I could do a little bit more work on it. You know what I mean? Like, everyone can do a little bit more work on acting.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. It's like, a new role. Okay.
Well, I think
What do I have to do a little bit more work on?
I think I've lost contact of, like, I haven't done that in a while. I haven't sat there and been like, I went through years of like, all right, this is your role. You're gonna do this. No. And I go, okay, so I'm gonna do this role again. I think I'm distanced from it is the best way I can say, because I've had TV callbacks. The TV callbacks are different from fucking me and you have talked about. It's different from what we did, and in college or in training.
Absolutely.
So when I came to granted years ago,
and I
but
could
anyway,
jump into
it's
that,
still
of course,
fucking. You're doing this, and then I'm not doing certain things all the time, and I had a year of it fucking sucked. I had a year and a half, not even a year and a half of like didn't fucking not booking anything, and then you like, all right, I'm
Dude,
just gonna make
literally
money
2
now.
years ago, I was like this. It was like the whole entire year I was only creating my own work, and I spent 6 months fucking like filming it with a friend, and then 4 months shelling out episodes.
Yeah, but
At Chewy Chats on Instagram. Check it out on IGTV or YouTube.
hey, Chewy Chats is really great though. You created Chewy Chats. How and why did you create that?
Chewy Chats was an idea that I had. It spawned in January of 2018, I believe. Christmas of 2017. So December of 2017, I got gifted an Amazon Alexa. Then in January of 2018, I was looking through the Amazon Alexa app on my phone, and I saw, oh my God, there's an app called Chewbacca Chats. And it would be like, and then it would pause, and Amazon would do the little circle thing, and it would give you a chance to respond. And I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, Chewy?" And I was like, "I'm gonna make a video about this." And then I started just doing that. I made 6 at-home videos, edited them through iMovie. And then my friend Jose Pizarro
with a full-blown Chewbacca fucking outfit.
Well, that was.
Have you had that for a while?
I bought that with a tax return in the like April or May of
bought it with a fucking tax return.
Yeah, in April or May of fucking 2018. But basically, what happened with that was my buddy Jose Pizarro, shout out Jose Pizarro, you can check him out on YouTube, incredibly funny.
Fuck that guy.
Actually, I love that. Fuck you, Jose. He ended up writing an entire season for me. It was 12 episods.
Yeah, and then you
and
like,
he
premiered it in New York.
he wrote one episode, and it was a response to the Solo, A Star Wars Story, and it was like, oh my God, let's film this.
Now,
and he and his girlfriend came over. We filmed it. I had the suit at the time, and then we filmed it. And then it was like it gave him permission to be like. He even studied my videos. What are the consistencies of this or whatever? And he took this aspect of me and Chewbacca and this alternate reality type of world, and he then was like, okay. He wrote 12 episodes. They weren't finished. It was January of 2018 that he sent them to me. Or no, January 20... 19. That's right, 2019. And it was by March we were filming episode 1. And we finished filming in August, the first week of August. March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months. Off and on we were filming. We ended up with 14 episodes, collaborated with multiple friends, his friends and I. We kind of like, he mostly wrote and I like made sure everything was coherent and a consistent, like through line. And it was just, it's like, basically, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like create your work. If you're an actor, like,
no, but
create
like
your own work.
You've been creating your work for a while. Like that's you're. All right, I'm gonna do this. I feel like you adjust with whatever the times are right now, and you're like, I'm gonna create this, and you created. But you created Chewy Chats for the fact of like I feel like creating your own content is where we're going in the medium that we're performing in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think earlier in our conversation, I feel like that's what I was trying to get at. Like creating, this is me. I'm creating my character, who I am. I'm creating my.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Do you think that's where it's going to?
I think podcasts are such an incredible medium. And that they are up and coming. They've been up and coming for years. And I think during this time, more than ever, everyone is sitting around. They want some. It's
There's
sad.
so many though.
There's almost too many, but there's like.
I got a podcast about celery. You want to fucking listen to it?
Yeah.
I mean, hey. You got enough people who want celery.
We have 125 episodes about celery. And then another 50 about recipes that you can do with celery. I think during this time, it's a beautiful thing to have so many podcasts. Because people want to pass time.
Yeah.
More than ever right now. And they want to be engaged in some way. And if you have a specific... The best podcasts out there, they have like this off thing that is like nothing else.
You created something, and do you really hate promoting it, or not hate promoting it, but it's rough because like I feel like when I'm promoting something, I feel like I'm bothering everybody. That's the first thing I feel.
Yeah. And I think that's a great question because I think. And if anyone has not watched The Social Dilemma, they should, because it further sets in stone that Instagram never was and ever was intended for human beings. It's intended for businesses. And if you, the way that you're going to combat that is if you operate as a creative person or as an individual or whatever you do as a living as if it is a business. And so what that has helped me in the past like 3 or so years, because it's so off and on that I have confidence with social media. Like during the beginning of the pandemic, I was like, fuck social media.
I mean, I get annoyed. For like 2 months. I was like, I'm not going to post anything about a podcast during this week. I was like, nah, I'm not going to fucking do it.
But you know with the mindset of like, this project is a business. Mm-hmm. This is a business.
Look at it as
this has nothing to do with my personal attachments to it or my feelings about it. It's about the content that I produce. So, with that mentality that I've tried to embrace over like the past 3 or so years, I've been able to be like, okay. I'm very, very sparingly with whenever I post. But if I am specifically, I'm like, okay, if I have content, if I have something specifically that I enjoy, that I know makes me look good, or makes somebody else look good that I am featured in, or that I am a part of that also makes me look good, or something that I am working on makes it look good, then absolutely I'm going to post it. I'm going to put it on blast. Watch this. See this. You need to see this. And it's a really hard place to get there. Mm-hmm. It is taking me years. And even now, I have gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I understand how people see me. And what people want to see me do, or want to see me being, you know. And that does not define me in my life as I am every day, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a fucked up road to get there, because it's like, oh, a fucking video of me saying how I'm in love with my bodega guy because he complimented me and that I had nice hair. That's not me. That's me thinking that's fucking funny. Okay, there is a part of me that thinks that is funny. Let me access that and show people. It's not me, but it is something that will hopefully make people laugh or put a joy on people's face. The problem with social media is that people see what you're posting as who you are. And that is so entirely untrue.
You seem to have a really good disconnect with, I'm going to post this as Kirk, or I'm going to post this is my professional, I'm doing a professional thing. And I feel like I'm not there by any means. I'm like,
I think it's a journey for all of us in creative endeavors. I even talked to my twin brother Colby Koz, who you can.
He's a baller.
Yeah, you can follow him on Instagram at Colby Koz or at Paris Loss on Spotify. He's an incredible musician, performer, and music therapist.
So good. Yeah, is that new? He's a musical therapist. Because he did a master's during. You know what the craziest thing about twins is?
You knew he woke up, and then he's like, the 2 years that I was doing my training at the Maggie Flanagan studio, he was doing his training as a music therapist at KU.
Get the fuck out of here! You people are
weird.
Dude,
right?
No,
but I don't know if I answered your question.
Who fucking knows?
Who fucking knows?
Here's the greatest thing: is having a podcast guest like you is. I haven't looked at my fucking. So I got notes. You can look. I got notes.
I don't want to look.
Don't
show me those notes.
What I got. I haven't looked at it, and that's like we were texting. I was like, I'm a little nervous about because sometimes I think I'm not good. I'm like, I don't know how to I'm learning but when someone is as engaging as you are, I'm like, all right, dude, we'll talk about fucking anything. But it's nice to have notes, and again. I'm always fighting. You always gotta have notes. You always gotta have You always gotta have a yellow brick road because you might. He might fuck up. And again, when you're
fuck off, you say tomato, I say tomato.
And when you're like, "What's your podcast about?" I'm like, "Well, I drink a lot of alcohol with my guests, and then we just talk about shit." My podcast is about reconnecting.
I think it's incredible, and oh my god. Dude,
I'm reconnecting.
Dude, yeah.
Go.
No. You just saying that has blown my mind because I don't know whether it's just I don't know. I'm part of me is I want to make sense out of things. You know, I said earlier, I was I'm obsessed with human behavior and trying to justify or make sense out of it, and this and that, actions, behavior, tactics or objectives about why you did something. Drinks on Dusty is not just about, I was coming here thinking this is Drink Podcast, all this stuff, but it's about reconnecting, and I think that is something that you have to lean into, dude.
Yeah.
Because listen, alcohol and drinking has its stigma and its connotations.
Yes.
It's good and it's bad. It's blessings and its evils. But one thing that it does do during the entire year is that it can bring people together.
It can literally. So my whole thing was
That's cool.
Have a drink with someone and be like, we'll talk about something we wouldn't ever talk about. Hey, Kirk, what's up? I can talk to you about like we're passing whatever, but I can sit here, we're having a drink, and people become more comfortable. And the whole thing is like I used to be like, this is a podcast where like I'm drinking with people, whatever. But I'm reconnecting with people in my life now, and that's become. I don't give a fuck if this gets no listeners ever. If my podcast has no fucking downloads, I'm reconnecting. I'm lucky enough to have actual downloads, but like whatever.
Yeah.
Small brag.
I'm right there with you, dude.
But it's like I'm reconnecting with people in my life that I know are accomplished or whatever. And people are like, oh, it's a lot of theater people. But these people that I'm choosing to have on have other interests. And also, I'm reconnecting with them. I'm reconnecting with you, Kirk.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in fucking year, whatever it is. And I'm like, I'm like, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? And we're talking. And it's fucking awesome. And the best thing, like I don't give a shit if I make no money on this podcast fucking ever. But I'm reconnecting with you. And that's what's important.
That's the important thing about, I think, this medium. To bring it back to this medium.
Yeah.
When you were asking about, do you think this is like a future medium and all that stuff? I think what's important is that so many people are embracing it as a way to connect with people that they don't know. And it's you watch TV shows and movies and stuff and how people connect through like old timey like radios, and it's such a beautiful experience to be like, oh my god, they're connecting, like oh my god, like podcasts are almost like a love letter to an old age America of like where radio, like the 40s, 50s, or like even like the 20s, 30s, 40s of where like radio was elite. That was where people got their news, where they connected with people. And I think that's the beauty, and it will never go away because I think podcasts is attached to people and opinions and personalities, and all of those are attached to the changing times. You know what I mean? And I think it's just like, I think you got a real good thing going here. Like I was coming here, I was like, what? I want to know what the shtick is. A part of me, my actor brain, my actor like artsy brain is like, okay, like what was it? It's like, what's his mission statement?
No, I don't have a mission statement, dude.
What's his hypotheses? Because if then because.
Yeah, dude, I don't think that way. I'm like, I just want to connect with
I mean, I don't either, but like, I just want to say, like, I don't think as a scientist, although, fuck yeah, science! It'll save the world right now. But anyways, but like, a part of me was like, oh my god. Like, in the back of my mind was like, oh my gosh, I want to know. Like what's the underbelly?
Wanted to know, like, I just want to drink with someone and talk to them. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I'll just drink. And
it doesn't mean that I can't do that, but a part of me, like, I get off on knowing everyone's objectives, or why they do something, or how they're acting.
We haven't even gotten to like our personal connection, how we know each other, or anything like that. So we went to fucking Wesleyan together.
That's right.
And a lot of my fucking stupid questions are being like, do you remember this? Do you do
oh my
this?
god,
do
can
this?
we?
Do this?
You know what? I am so. When I was heading here, I was like, he's gonna ask me things that I probably don't even remember, because one of the things that popped into my head was like, do you ever think about college, and you think, was that a dream? Because it was incredible. in a bunch of different ways, and it's like it's almost like the last moment that you are in absolute
bliss. Yeah, because it was like you're kind of adult, but you're also doing to pay for things like with me, it was like I don't have to pay for rent. I gotta do
It's
this.
the most incredible limbo ever.
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah.
After college, limbo is like, oh fuck, am I gonna die? Am I gonna go to heaven or am I gonna go to hell? When you're in limbo, college is basically limbo, and you're like, fuck yeah, I don't know what is happening or what I'm doing. I guess I'm gonna major in this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna date this person for 5 fucking years.
Question 1.
Yeah.
Do you remember the day you gave the keys to me? Do you remember that day?
I did give the keys to you.
And I had just talked to Joan about this on a Zoom call the other day, and I got really fucked up and was like, well, did you fucking know that I had the keys to the entire apartment? But
oh my god!
you remember what I'm talking about? So
It was at a party, right?
No, it wasn't. It might have been a party, but I remember you
Oh my
pulling
god!
me aside.
Oh my god! That's right. No. So. Oh my god! I hope we don't get a lawsuit next.
Fuck.
No, Joan wouldn't. Joan, I love you if you're listening. If you would even.
She loves me.
You want to know who? Do you know who gave me?
Yeah. Dinger.
Dinger.
Yeah.
Who I consider.
It was a big deal.
It was a big deal that I was given keys. I was given keys to McDonald Theater at Nebraska Wesleyan. I could access that theater whenever I wanted. Did I take advantage of it? No. Now that I'm 29, I would have taken advantage of it every single day. Anyway, sorry.
Wait. So you never... So these...
Did I ever bang in on McDonald Theater? No, unfortunately not.
Which shittily was the premise of having the keys, was like you were supposed to have sex in the theater, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong there?
I feel like did.
Oh, I did. I definitely did.
Of course you did.
But I remember getting it was like, so these keys, so in the theater department we were at, for people that don't know.
When did I give them to you?
You gave them to me before I was a senior.
That's right.
So, because you were
it was
senior
a senior
and I was
to a junior.
It was supposed
send off.
It was,
and it was
no,
specifically given to me.
No. I was told to me that you were supposed to always give it a seat because Dinger gave it to you when you were a sophomore.
I was a sophomore.
From what I remember.
Yeah, it was. He was 2 years older than me, yeah.
And there was a whole thing. And then it was, you were supposed to give it to a sophomore. And then you came up to me and said, fuck all these sophomores. And then you gave me the key.
Apparently I fucking hated this.
Yeah, apparently you're like, I don't know these fucking pieces of shit. But then I got the key. And then it became another thing. I was like, I got fuck. It was literally, again, looked up to you like a motherfucker. I was like, I got the keys to the department.
Well, I mean, another thing was like, you smash during senior year. You used it to smash during senior year.
So senior year, I took and it was like the lighting booth in our fucking...
The lighting booth where the ghost, where the ghost is. Got it.
But
Great.
I remember the girlfriend...
You have a threesome with the ghost and the sunset seats.
I remember I said, I go, I got this.
You're like, just turn around, look at the sunset seats.
You son of a bitch. So I would like to consider ourselves good friends. You're my good friend.
I could not.
Like, I care about you. I love you. Like, I'm there for you. And I do remember when it was like, well, Kirk's doing this fucking Maggie flagging me in the studio. He's gonna do this, and I felt like I was like, all right, well, I don't know how to talk to him. Like, I was disconnected with you in a sense, and I think I personally I was like, you're like my role model. You were my like good friend. And did you feel disconnected with people that you were close with? And also, how did you deal with that? I guess is like the best way I can put it.
Yeah, well, you know what, you know, there was a moment. I mentioned earlier that it's like a 2.5 or so year program, and
you were focused on that.
It is, and what I have to say about it is that if you want to be a professional actor, 2 to 3 years of your life is nothing. If you want to do this until you're 80, 90 years old, what the fuck is 2 to 3 years of your life that is going to implement what you are going to follow as a technique and a basis of like a technique to help you to tackle every single thing that you go after. To answer your question about did I feel like I was disconnecting, I did feel at times a little guilty. And I think there is guilt that comes with things that you don't even know that are working themselves inside of you without them knowing. You know, there's things that we do in our lives that we start doing and we have no idea.
But do you feel like it's more of an actor thing? Like when you're an actor, you feel more, I'm going to do this. I'm like, I have to do this for my career to be like, I'm going to try to be an accomplished actor.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened is I went through, I've completely come to terms with it, and it's common knowledge with a lot of people, and it's a time that I'm not proud of. But shortly after I moved to the city, I went through a really, really messy breakup.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, I'm alone. I have nothing but what I want to do. I'm in the city that I moved to for a specific reason. There's one reason that I wanted to move to the city, and it's to do what I want to do for the rest of my living and for the rest of my life as a career, and it's acting. So I'm gonna try and do that. And so I did that, and I was like, okay, what do I want to do? I want to study at one of the best conservatories out there.
Yeah.
And I found the best one for me. And what happened very shortly after that was a realization that this was going to be transformational. And by transformational, I mean it's going to completely, there is going to be at a time that I know now, I'm not going to recognize who I was a year or a few months or a year or 2 years before.
You're not the Kirk that I went to drinks with a couple years ago. You're saying that you didn't. No. You're not that guy.
No, but I am at the same time. You know, because I'm in touch with that, and I'm able to, because of what I did, able to understand who that is and who that part of me is, and to be able to embrace them and to know that it is a part of me, and to not shun it or to not be like, oh, fuck that part of me or fuck that person. But one thing that has come through my doing that was off and on, or different peaks and valleys of being able to be like, oh my God, okay, this is more important to me. The longevity of this is more important to me in the short term to see people than it is to not. And so there was a short period of time that I was non-existent to people. And the reason why was because I was doing what I wanted to do for years, you know?
But I feel, all right, so I love this because I'm getting personal with you. So you were one of my best friends with coming to New York. It was like I'll talk to Kirk. I'll hang with Kirk. I'll be with Kirk. I'll be good. I wasn't with Kirk ever. And then I had to get a job that was like this and this. And I get that though. Like you explaining that to me, I'm like, oh, I totally understand. But I think I have a hard time understanding the disconnect with people that you personally felt connected with. And I feel like I haven't connected with you since.
No, I totally understand that. And you know, I have thought about that in the past and how hard that is, and how when I did go into my
do you feel like you're that way now?
I feel like I am ready for anybody to come in or out of my life.
Gotcha.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And I think not only has that come with going through what I'm currently talking about, but like just with the times.
Yeah.
And having what I learned from that grow into myself, and then also just the present time that we're living in, to be able to reconnect with people has been something that has been like so important to me. During this time has been I have been an advocate for like, I don't care. Like, if you can see somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, do it. Do it safely, but fucking do it. Because you will be filled for months on that experience. And I did go into my acting conservatory. I think that what happened, one of my mentors, I remember going through a specific experience where it was like, you need, because during this time, I mentioned earlier, like the first year of the specific technique or program that I went through, the Meissner program, the first year is basically focusing on accessing and conquering your personal emotional spectrum. And so you are so in your thoughts and your feelings and your relationships in life, outside of life, in the imaginary, all this stuff. And you come up against like, oh, who's important to me?
Yeah.
And I came up multiple times of like, I remember even asking a question in one class and being given the answer that you need to surround yourself with the people that believe in you and give you permission to do what you love to do, and even more so, the people that will collaborate with you because they believe in what you're doing.
Yes.
And that is something across the board. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're an artist or a fucking accountant or a freaking politician or this or that. Surround yourself with the people who believe in what you want to do. And at that time, I told myself, okay, what is 2.5 years of me focusing on just this and establishing a strict fire under my ass. How are you going to approach this side? This 2 to 5 page side that you were given. How are you going to approach this? Okay, well now I know this, how to approach it. I have this tool from second year, how to approach this or this. Ooh, this character has this specific character trait. Okay, am I gonna look at this or this for a reference or this and try to like take an essence of that?
It's like a huge puzzle that you're putting together.
I was basically for 2.5 years being like, excuse me, I'm gonna focus on puzzle making for my profession. You got
but that's wild because I don't ever. And again, I will never say.
And I know, no, and
but you do that. I don't do that.
That's something that we all do instinctually, and we don't even know it. And what I went to school for and a studio for was to know how I subconsciously do that for myself. Okay. And then how to understand that for myself, and then be able to be like, look at a character and how do I take studying. Yeah, it's a lot of work. And it's well, you know what it is? It's every single person, and I don't mean this to be a PSA about acting, but like, hey, every single fucking person in the entire world thinks that they can act, and they fucking can't.
They can't.
They fucking can't because it takes. Because look at a symphony. Who are all those people in symphony? There's first chairs, there's second chairs, there's third chairs. Look at the fucking people who are fucking coders or hacking and stuff. Look at the people who are freaking like Jackson Pollock or freaking the Campbell's guy. Oh, I'm fucking drunk now. You know, freaking like look at all the fucking artists, fucking Beyonce, the fucking David Bowie. Look at all the fucking people. What are they doing? They have an instinctual, like they have years of experience of knowing who they are and how to challenge themselves and how to like access a part of themselves to show themselves. And that's the same with acting. Acting is something that is not considered as much of an art form as it is.
The feeling of being a fucking nephew or an uncle, it's like, yeah, you're an uncle. It's like it's a big feeling.
It's a huge, and it's a very very grounding feeling to be. It really reminds you of how it literally. I think there are people who can become an uncle or an aunt at any age. And no matter what age that is, you are immediately going to be able to, like, introspectively be like, wow, I'm a little older than I thought I was. You know? It happened for me when I was, I guess, 28. And it was, I have the pleasure, I have the pleasure of having what am I trying to say? So my sister is basically, so I look like the male version of my older sister. Me and my older sister are almost the spitting image of my mother. We got my mother's genes, the McCrary genes. And the long face with the big round cheeks and stuff, and dimples on both sides and stuff. And my niece looks identical to not only my sister, but me. Because my sister and I look more like identical twins than me and my twin brother. And it's another weird like category of like pride to be able to be like, oh my god, you're so cute, you look like me. No, but like she also, I think there's something about uncle life that is just like, oh my god. Well, you know what it is, and I'm sure you can probably attest to this, to having like a it's a stepbrother, yeah?
Yeah, stepbrother.
To be able to be like, oh my god, this is so great. I get to be a part of their lives, but I don't get to raise them. You know? I get to be the best part of their life. Yeah.
Here's
periodically.
Here's cool Uncle Dustin, and I'm like, what's up, fuckers? And you're like, just making them
my god, yes, I get to see this person 3 or 4 times a year and be the best part of their year. You know?
Hey, it's Uncle Kirk. He'll fucking.
It's you know what I see uncle and aunt tryouts as?
What?
Mom and dad tryouts. It's like, how are you gonna deal with them? How are you going to deal with them? You going to say, fuck off? You going to be like, Or are you going to be like, yo, I'm engaged with you. Let's make you better. Let's have a good time.
Kirk's a big deal. So Kirk is a fucking established actor. And I think, well, one question I have to you is, I don't understand. So you become an established actor soon after you came out of college. You were doing regional theater, and then you became like, he's doing this theater. I feel like you're doing a stepping stone. And the next stepping stone is like, I'm gonna be on Broadway. So what was the challenge with building that type of pedigree? If that makes sense, because I feel like you have been like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. It's like a stepping stone that you've built. If that makes sense, like I don't fucking know.
That's so funny that you say that, because there was nothing that I have ever built in my entire career other than like being like, I want to study for 2.5, 3 years. Other than that, it was luck, and it was I mean it's not meant in like a braggy way, but like it was putting in the fucking work and working hard as fuck. I know what you're. I know what you're mentioning. In my junior year of college, I was playing Hanshin in Spring Awakening.
Yeah,
I played Hanshin, which is the very, very comfortable with it, more comfortable than everyone else's sexuality, and he is very comfortable with his sexuality, specifically with men, and he was almost in a way more flamboyant than others, and almost to the point that he, would flaunt it, And there was a woman that came and saw the show who ended up being one of my mentors, my director mentors, Jill Anderson, and she was a director of a literary festival focused on Oscar Wilde, the Irish playwright. And she came and saw our production because she lived in Omaha, and she was going to play the female character that played all those multiple characters in Spring Awakening. She saw me, and she spoke with Jack Parkhurst and said, can I speak to this person who played this? And I spoke to her, and she was like, I would love to audition you. I'm doing this and that. I was like, okay. I'm like, wait, what? Somebody's wanting to audition me from what I did? But all the things are connecting, and you think of Hanshin and his confidence in his sexuality at a young age. Yeah. And you think of Oscar Wilde, if you're familiar with Oscar Wilde, and it connects so perfectly. And something that I did during that performance was like, I need this guy. I need to audition this guy. And then it was like a month later I auditioned, and I did that. And then it wasn't until after, to throw back to the Dracula thing that happened in
no, it was
Wesleyan.
It's
my mentor saw that Dracula production in 2013, and it most likely probably spawned her for a year and a half later to do a literary festival in Omaha focused at the Jocelyn Castle that was focused on Bram Stoker. And so in October of 2014, I did a second one-man show focused on Dracula and stuff. So it's all these things. There are things that you said something about, like, oh, you've made these decisions, or and it's like
it's all connected.
It's a weird connected thing. It's just thing, like, if you put in the work, it's like, hopefully somebody will notice.
You son of a bitch. All right.
What?
How do you deal with being single in New York City, but having had that past relationship like status, like you've been in a significant relationship. Does that make sense? I'm not. That's a weird. It makes absolutely. It was a weird connection.
No, it makes sense. I know exactly where you're coming from. It's been a struggle because specifically it all. Recently I mentioned therapy and being a serial monogamist, and I think
the relationships are hard if you have.
They're hard, but you know what? Well, this is something that I knew that we would jump into, and I think so many of your questions have kind of led to a thing about that, because like one of the things that you mentioned was like, oh, do you feel like you have to perform, or things about living in New York City and all that stuff, and the things that you've done. And in a way, so much of what I have talked about has been connected in a way to my romantic life, because at a young age I felt for some reason that I needed some significant other.
Are you talking about when we were back in college?
Back in college?
Just to get a time frame.
Back in college, and shortly before college, and even shortly after college, there was a part of me that felt like I needed a significant other to identify with who I was.
So you were identifying yourself with like, this is who I am because I'm with this person.
Yeah.
I'm this person.
So to answer your initial question, I think it had to do with
the question is shit, but what we're talking about, the question was shit, but what we're talking about is in depth, and I
think so many people go through the hardships of relationships, and they keep a hold of their feelings, or they don't let go, or they don't learn from it.
Have you had an issue with that? Because I've had an issue with that. I feel like
you've had an issue with what exactly?
With letting go from a relationship with him. Like, this is where I felt like this is it. This is the person I need to be with. This is this, and I've had to deal with for the past how many years? Like, I don't even know how long it is, but it was like you're connected with somebody. Mm-hmm. I haven't been connected with somebody in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I was connected with one person, and then I haven't felt that. I was like, I'm going through the motions.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No. I totally understand that, and I totally understand, like, oh my God, how am I supposed to do this with somebody else when I felt this with somebody, this and that. But for me personally, it wasn't until recently, in the past year or so, that I realized, oh my God. And this is not news to anyone. This is not a profound type of thing that I'm saying. Yeah. But it's like, I came to the realization that so many people come to, that like, oh my gosh, that person that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't live without them. Like, oh my God, I love them. Oh my God, that person is me. I had never got to that point that it was like, the person that I can't live without is myself, or that I can't be comfortable with myself is myself.
Specifically, when you say that, because I understand that, but I'm like, so when you're saying that I can't live without myself, what does that mean exponentially?
I'm not a fucking expert, but I know for me it means, whoa, I'm drunk, but it's like there's a part of me that it's like,
podcast, motherfucker.
But like there's a part of me that it's like, okay, I am good for the first time in fucking 12 years on my own.
You're good with yourself.
I am good.
What I'm looking at right now is you're Kirk. You're Kirk. This is Kirk. Yeah. And you're happy with, I'm Kirk. I'm Kirk. I'm able to be
because the more time you spend with yourself, the more you understand about yourself alone or with people. And that will only help you with other people. And to be honest, there's no way that you want to be with somebody that is like, oh my God, look at that fabricated personality who's putting on a show. You know what? No
desire to talk to that person ever.
Important to embrace who you are as a fucking human being, because more than likely there's somebody who's like, I am so hard right now. That person is being so themselves. I'm so hard. I'm so wet. You know what I mean? You know, like, but it's like, it's so crude, but so true.
No, you're totally right.
And I'm in the point that is late development, nearing 30, that it's like, and as if that's a profound thing. I'm nearing 30. Oh my God. Yay. I'm finding myself. But, you know, fuck that. But also, like, it's like, oh, what a blessing that I trust myself to be in a way that
the idea that you have to have a certain mindset right now at your
or that
age.
you need to be with somebody.
Yeah.
Or that you need to be attached
it's rough.
to somebody.
I mean, it's fucking sucks. I deal with how it's like, hey, Dustin, are you dating anybody yet? I'm like, no, dude, I've literally barely thought about ever talking to a girl more than twice.
Talking about you.
It's not something I do think people that are in my realm think about to try to make it any sort of popular side. I personally do have a dream. So, what's your dream in life? So, to help you, my dream in life. So, everyone has always asked me, hey, Dustin, what are you trying to get at? Dustin, what are you trying to do? Dustin, what's your goal? And I've always like, oh, I like to be famous, and I can buy my mom a lake house, and I like to do this, I like to act, whatever. So like when you told me that you're destined to be an actor, right? I am destined to be a dad. That's how I feel. Now, to be a dad, I need another person to whatever. But when everyone's like, Dustin, you're a teacher, you can do this, I want to be a dad. If I'm a dad, I'm good. Like, I don't care about anything
When
else.
you hear people say, oh, you're a teacher, you're like, yeah, but I'm a teacher for my kid, my eventual kid.
Yeah,
Is
like
that what you feel?
I feel like that. I want to do that. Like, I can teach kids, like, I can do this, I can do all this. But if you ask me what's your dream thing, I just want to be a dad, which is weird because when you say I want to be an actor too, it's a whole like fucked up thing. But like, to be honest,
it's pretty
like
simple.
It's I want to be a dad. I want to literally go, like, I get jealous of parents that pick up their kids because like that's all I want to do. It's just weird. Like it's weird because people are like,
that's beautiful though. That's so cool.
It's beautiful in a certain sense, but it's also weird because like people don't get that.
It's not weird. Don't tell yourself it's weird, dude. Because
you don't think so? Because I think a lot of people think that it would be weird. Do you think that it's? Would you feel uncomfortable with being a dad right now? Because I feel like that's a
dad right now. Potentially yes, because
see, I would too.
I have an idea for myself that like I know when I'm available to be a dad. And to answer and it goes back to your initial question, what's your dream? And to be honest, my dream, it's a simple answer. It's like I want to get to a place where I am able to tell stories consistently on a global scale.
Yeah.
I want to be able to consistently tell stories, and that's why I'm an actor. That's why I am a creator. I want to be able to tell stories because one of my favorite things is to tell stories or to hear people tell stories or to watch people tell stories. Because
you're so invested with it. You're so invested. It's like when you were like doing something, like we had talked about, one of the notes was I'm just happy I remember this. But you're invested. If I tell you, hey Kirk, we're gonna do a fucking story about where the I'm like pointing at my snapback hats. But I'm like, hey Kirk, we're gonna do a fucking story about where the Cornhuskers came up to fucking whatever. You would look at me and be like,
okay, let's do it.
you're like, and you told me you'll dive in because that's who you are. It could be the shittiest story ever, but Kirk is gonna dive into it. Kirk's gonna be fucking right there doing that.
You know, growing up for a while, even like when I went out of my way to go to my acting conservatory, it was something that I was out of its way, and it was something that seemed like I was alienating myself from people that I was friends with or knew, or that I wasn't further in contact with, or I almost felt, or it almost seemed like it was like I was falling off the plate, the planet Earth, and it was like, no, it was in an attempt to get to a place where it was like, oh, I wanna fucking tell some stories. I wanna fucking learn how to fucking, in every single fucking aspect, for anybody to tell some stories. And there was a few people during that time that I was poked fun at for how passionate I was about it. And
But you were always telling stories though. Someone at one point when we were in, so again, you were a year ahead of me, and someone's like, yeah, we're Kirk's just doing this like whatever thing. I'm like, is he getting paid and he's telling a story? And yeah, I'm like, he's doing what we're trying to do. And I'm like, you have never had I'm going to do this to build to the next thing. I'm going to do this to tell a story. Anything I'm trying to get at is the fact that you're going to tell the story. And you're building off whatever. And you have built your entire career in a very accomplished actor that a lot of people can't hold a candle to your fucking resume as an accomplished actor. And it's mind-blowing to me because some people still will be like, well, is he on Broadway? Okay, motherfucker. But that's fucking a whole... It makes me upset. Because I'm like, this dude is one of the most accomplished actors I know. But you'll always will hear that shit. It's like, even when I say I have a callback for a TV show.
everyone has haters, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone has.
They want to have haters too. They want to hate
also,
on everything.
There's people who hate because there's a part of them that are not comfortable with confronting that part that they're hating.
Yeah.
I've studied that.
Yeah.
I've literally...
You study the emotion. That's like one of the
studied
things
the
you've
emotional spectrum intensely.
God, I just fucking love that.
For
though.
3 years
So...
straight. And I'm continuously doing it. You know? Like,
you're not on Broadway though. Yeah. Oh, cute. That's what fucking people do. It's fucking ridiculous.
oh, you're a
fucking...
senator, but you're not in the White House. You don't do a goddamn thing. Oh, really?
Dude, it's fucking ridiculous. They have no concept of what you
Oh,
have
you're
to
a Twitch streamer. You don't make any money. Oh, really? I have 5 million followers. I get $100 fucking bills sent to me every single stream, upwards of 50 times a stream, and I'm streaming for 4 hours. You know, like, what the fuck? It's like these people. Understand the work that you have to put in.
Yeah.
To what you want to do.
To do any sort of creative outlet.
And I'm not like calling anybody out because of course you're not even naming anybody because why the fuck is not like a fucking bash podcast. But like
no one knows who I am, but it's fine.
But like there's so many people out there who do not know the amount of work it takes and how long it takes.
Dusty's drunken thoughts, y'all. Here we go. Drunk ass. God damn it.
Drunken Dusty number 1 is I hate Ed Helms. I hate him.
You bring him up in every single episode?
No, I just hate him. He's just a drunken thought I had about like a couple weeks ago. I hate him. Hate him. Think he sucks. Think he's not a good actor.
A couple of weeks ago, you had that thought.
Oh yeah. I literally have a list of fucking like 80 things on my drunken thoughts that I just text. So it's just drunken thoughts that I have. And one of my thoughts I have is fuck Ed Helms.
Yeah.
I don't think he's good. I don't think he's a good actor. Don't know why he gets paid what he gets paid. And I think it really has to do with him on The Office. On that when Michael Scott was like done after season 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Hate him. Think he sucks. Anything he does. Anything he does, I'm like, fuck you. Tag? Good idea for a movie. Good idea for a fun movie. Wish
Tag
he wasn't
was
in
great.
it.
Yeah.
Wish he wasn't in it. Would have been better. Fuck him. And again, drunken thoughts is me. This is my drunken thought.
I love that.
Any thought on
yeah.
it,
You know
into
that's very interesting. Because I know so many people out there like they swear by The Office and what people have done by The Office. And,
Office is my favorite show. Ever. Friends is second. Well, this is a new one. Also, anyone that thinks...
No, just kidding.
Son of a bitch. Anyone that says Friends sucks can literally suck my dick 3
I
times.
have only...
You've never seen it?
To be honest, I've never seen Friends coherently. I've probably seen it as a young age as my sister has watched it in the living room, but never in the show. And,
It's fucking... I have learned that a lot of people hate it.
I know who I am, apparently, to people.
Who
like
are you,
Ross or something? Or...
Yeah, I'd say you're a Ross. I'm definitely a Joey.
So I'm the person who's like, we were on a break!
Yeah, you're that guy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, Dustin drunken thought number 2. Old school Usher songs were the shit.
Fuck yeah. Yo, there was one with him and fucking Lil Jon, right?
Yeah.
Yo, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. It's called
Yeah.
So
Yo!
I have an affinity for that kind of hip hop back in the day. So I was
Abso-fucking-lutely,
listening to that
dude.
bang into it the other day. I was like, yeah, this fucking song is...
Were you
this is good
banging
hip-hop.
to it, Dusty?
Bang to it,
You moved the fucking... Just while I was answering that, you moved the fucking rolly fucking desk. You fucking spilled the fucking mixer as I was filling it. So now we got a fucking stainy black fucking rolly desk.
What are you gonna do, bro? So this is gonna end the Drinks on Dusty podcast. And so I've had my good friend Kirk on here.
Hey.
And Kirk, I would like for you Kirk, I would like for you to plug anything that you're a part of. Where can they find you? What are you working on? And all that bullshit like that.
Yeah. If you've gotten this far, thank you for listening.
Barely did.
Please feel free to follow me on Instagram at Kirk_Koz. That's KIRK_KOZ. I also have a podcast called Men of Doozy on
Let's
Instagram.
go.
That's
it's a good podcast, everybody.
MENOFDOOOOZY. We talk about all things and every single thing that you want to learn to be successful in life. And the whole shtick is that me and my podcast hosts are not qualified to teach you about what we're doing. Also, I'll just shout out my good buddy and co-host Alex Staub. He is a very, very funny comedian at Alex AELEX. Oh wait, what the fuck? I'm drunk.
I don't know
Alex
how to spell his
Staub
name. I don't know how
at
to spell his name.
ALEXSTAUB. He's a very funny comedian in New York City who is my podcast host. But other than that, just check me out there and on the podcast and on Instagram. And
Hey, do all the shit, man. So Kirk, it was a pleasure to have you in studio.
I feel like we could just keep going forever.
I'll talk all day long. Kirk, you fucking roll, dude. And
You
anybody,
fucking rule. Thank you for having me, dude.
fucking course, you fucking kidding me? I'll drink with anybody, any day, any fucking time. This is Drinks on Dusty. Have a good one. Peace.